Good day, guys. Today we are looking at linear programming for maths level 4. So, usually to make life easy for a maths level 4 student, you need to know a few statements that you usually see and their meanings. So, a statement like maximum means less than or equal to, at most means the same thing, less than or equal to, not more than means the same thing. So the last three are the opposite of the first three. Minimum is greater than or equal to, at least greater than or equal to, not less than, greater than or equal to. So with these ones, I think you can read a scenario like this and be able to pick up what is needed. So we are looking at this short story which says Midori is a toy factory manufacturing teddy bears and dolls. The weekly production is subject to the following conditions. So they've given us 4 conditions. The first one is for the profit on teddy bear is 12 rands and 8 rand on dollar. Then Midori must deliver at least, you see, when I'm reading my key statements, I pick them out, at least $50. Then Midori will sell a maximum of 120 teddy bears per week. Then again, a maximum of 2 dolls must be manufactured for each teddy bear. So we are told that each time we see teddy bear, we call it X, dolls is Y. So these are now the questions. We have to go through that step by step. We will revisit in the scenario. So step 1, question A says we need to write the profit equation in terms of X and Y. So when writing the profit equation, we must remember that X stands for teddy bear, Y stands for dollar. So we are going to A. So my profit equation, I'll simply call it P equal to. So those conditions given to us, if you look at the first condition, it's saying the profit on a teddy bear. A teddy bear is X, 12 rands, that means I'll take 12 times X, and 8 for a dollar, that is 8 times Y. So that leads me to my profit equation, which is simply 12X plus 8Y. So with A, I'm done. So linear programming, the challenge is that the scenario is always long, but the answers are so short. Then B, it says the constraint, 2 of the constraints are X greater than or equal to 0 and Y greater than or equal to 0. We need to model the other constraints in terms of X and Y. So that takes us back to our scenario. So we know that the first line, the first condition is for our profit. So we just need the last 3 to write our constraints. And those key statements that I was picking them from there is what will guide me. So the first one says Midori must deliver at least on my table means greater than or equal to $50. Dollar is Y. So my constraint here should be Y greater than or equal to 50. So that is my constraint. Y is greater than or equal to 50, since you know that Y is the number of dollars. Then the second condition there, or the third condition, Midori will sell a maximum of 120 teddy bears. So maximum is less than or equal to teddy bear is X, the number of teddy bears is X, so I will say my next constraint is X less than or equal to 120. Now the last condition is the interesting one, which needs us to really concentrate to get it right. It says a maximum, you see I've underlined the word maximum because it takes me immediately to the inequality sign. A maximum of 2 dolls, dollar is Y, must be manufactured for each teddy bear. So this statement is actually a statement of ratios, where we could have said the ratio of dolls to teddy bears is 2:1. That is another way you can frame that equation. So this is how I handle such equation. So they say maximum of 2 dolls must be manufactured for each teddy bear. So I'll start by saying the ratio of dolls, Y stands for doll, is to teddy bear. It's a maximum. We've got the keyword there is maximum, which is less than same thing as saying the maximum of 2 doors, so y goes for 2, is manufactured for each teddy bear x goes for a teddy bear. So from here, I know that another way of writing ratios is in terms of fractions. So I can say y over x is less than or equal to 2 over y. And now, I usually prefer putting y on the left hand side. So to do that, I will need to multiply each side by x. If I multiply this side by x will cancel itself. You're left with y less than or equal to multiply there, you get 2x. So we've got our 3 constraints for the last 3 conditions. So those are the 3 constraints that we pick out from the scenario. So all you need is to understand that table. So I guess we are done with B, sorry. We can then go to C, which says we should represent the inequalities graphically. So we've got 3 inequalities, so they expect you to get 3 lines. So when I'm drawing my lines, I just need to check whether do my equations in inequalities involve x and y. So these are very simple inequalities, except the last one. The line from this one should be y equal to 50. You see, the inequality has got nothing to do with x. So I'll simply go to the y-axis, look for 50, draw a horizontal line. Then the inequality has got nothing to do with y, so the line from here will simply be x equal to 120, because I've got nothing to do with y capital. So this is the complicated one, because here the line must touch x and y. So I guess with this one, the way we do it is simple. We have to start by making x 0. If you make x 0, you see that y will also be 0, to show it to you that this graph passes at the origin. And now, in this level 4, they always give us the graph page to now know another point where this graph can pass. All I need to do is go to my graph page. You see, I've presented the graph page here, just the way we do in level 4. I pick any value on the x-axis, I substitute into the equation, because the equation here should be y equal to 2x. Pick any value on the x-axis, I substitute into the equation, I'll see the corresponding value for y. So for example, if I pick x as 20, as I see on the x-axis, it will be telling me that if I have x as 20, I put it into the equation, 2 times 20 will tell me that y will be 40. Because to draw a straight line, you need at least 2 points. So that is all about the point. I can now draw. If I need the line y equal to 50, I go to the y-axis, I look for 50. 50 should be midway between 40 and 60. I draw a horizontal line. Guys, remember you need a ruler. Then each time you draw a line, remember to label it y equal to 50. Then the next line should be x equal to 120. Go to the x-axis and look for where there is 120. I draw another line. Let's label this one here y equal to 50. Then x equal to 120 has got nothing to do with the y-axis, so I draw a vertical line passing through 120 like that, and also label it x equal to 120. Then the last line is the one that we have to draw to plot the 2 point. The origin is 0, 0. Then I can pick the point 20, 40. So it will pass there. I can do as many points as I want. If I pick any point for x and multiply by 2, I will see y. If I pick the point 40, for example, 40 times 2 will be 80. It means it will also pass somewhere there. Then if I pick the point 120 times 2, it will go with 240. You see, that is 240. So I have to draw a straight line that passes through this point. I hope my line is straight enough until it reaches there. So this is the line y equal to 2x, the line x equal to 120, y equal to 50. So with that, we are done with the C part. So this is like our solution for C. So the graph page is always given to you like that. All you need to do is just to go and plot your points. So I guess drawing the graph is easy. You can now look at D. D says indicate the feasible region. So usually to indicate the feasible region, the easiest thing is to check how many constraints did you get. If I get 3 constraints, it will be easy to come here and just check the region that is surrounded by the 3 lines. So if I'm looking at a region like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, then the 3 main lines I drew, you will see that they will immediately eliminate 6 because 6 is only surrounded by 2 lines. So I take out 6, then 1 will be eliminated also, it's only surrounded by 2 lines. Then we've got 2 is surrounded by 3, so I can leave 2 for now. 3 is surrounded by only 2. Then this one is surrounded, 4 is surrounded by 2 of the lines drawn, and 5 is also surrounded by 3. So I'm now stuck between these 2 to know the correct one, then the inequality signs can guide me. So if I take the line x equal to 120, the inequality sign, the feasible region must be on the left. You see, x less than. So in that case, both the region 2 and 5 satisfy that because they are on the left. Then if I go to the line y, the inequality y greater than 50, I see greater than, so it means the correct feasible region must be above that line. So our line y equal to 50 is here, it's only 5 that falls above it, so I eliminate 2. So at the end of the day, I see that my feasible region is this one, where we have 5, so you can shade it if you want, and then or you can just write beside FR standing for feasible region. So that's your feasible region. So once you know your feasible region, it's surrounded by 3 lines, so you are advised to put 3 letters on the 3 corners, A, B, and C. So my feasible region is surrounded by A, B, and C. So in that case, we are done with D. We can now go to E, where we need to draw the search line. So drawing the search line on your graph, you need to start from the profit equation, which is also called the objective function. So if I go back to the profit equation, that is my E, I copy it down. The first thing is make y the subject of the formula. Now when you look at it, P is the subject. So to make y the subject, 12x goes to the left, is equal to 8y. Then I divide each term by 8. So make P over 8 minus 12 over 8x is equal to y, which makes this line to be in the form y equal to mx plus c. That's the standard form of the equation of a straight line. Then to pick, then from there you pick up your gradient, whose definition is change in y over change in x, and that is the item attached to x there, just like you see in the formula, which is negative 12 over 8. So you don't need to bother yourself much about the negative, but what we have to do here is that to draw our search line, we'll look for 12 on the y-axis, we'll link it to 8 on the x-axis. So that's the purpose of the gradient. So if I go to my graph, you see that there's no 12 on the y, there's no 8 on the x. So you just have to try to readjust this to get the numbers in your xy plane. So to readjust this, you either multiply or divide by the same number, numerator and denominator. So if I choose to multiply the numerator by 10, this will take me to 120. Multiply that by 10, it will take me to 80. So that is the same thing as 12 over 8. So it means to draw the search line, I can look for 120 on the y, since 120 is a numerator like y, and 80 on the x. If I can link these two, then I get my search line. So I will use a different color. The search line is a straight line, and to make it look different from others, we always advise candidates to use a broken line. Unfortunately, I don't have a ruler, but I guess I'm getting it right. So that's how I get my search line. And for better interpretation, it's always preferable to use more than one search line in order to be able to get the story right. So if I want another search line, I can maybe choose to divide these two by the same number. If I divide by 2, for example, this goes to 60, that goes to 40. So another searchline can be at 60 on the Y and 40 on the X. So you can draw as many search lines as you want. And if you draw them correctly, you'll see that they are parallel to one another. So the purpose of the search line is for it to start from the origin and move into the physical region. The first point between A, B, and C to be touched gives us the point of minimum profit. So you see, if this line starts here and it is moving, A is already eliminated. If it continues, B will also be eliminated, and it shows to us that maximum profit must be at C. So that is my search line. You can choose to draw one, you can draw more if you want. So with that search line, we have picked that C is the point of maximum. So our F says write down X and Y values that yield maximum profit. So that simply means you look for the coordinate of C. So our graph is an easy one. You see where C is. C is where X value is 120 and the Y one is 240. So we will simply say our X value that yields maximum profit is 120. And our Y value that yields maximum profit is 240, which is the same as saying the coordinate of C is 120 is to 240. So we are done with that part. Then we can go to the last one, which needs that maximum profit. So if I need the maximum profit, I go back to the profit equation, which is 12x plus 8y. So now when I'm copying it, I'll replace x by 120. Then I'll replace y by 240, and the rest is just for you to handle that with a calculator, and you are done to see your maximum profit. So guys, that's how a linear programming problem works. So the key thing is the scenario is long, the solution is very short. So for you to understand the scenario, know that little table of statements and their meaning. So thank you very much. I hope this helps.